The Switch eShop has another massive sale. This one, it's got everything from a few classics returning to their all-time low prices, to a new batch that we've never seen cheaper before, and it's going to be indie through to the AAA. Today I'm going to be breaking down 13 deals under $10 or your local currency, and as always I'm covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. My name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner. Let's get started. As always, I do have a winner to announce for a $10 eShop gift card later in the video, also one more to give away. To enter, drop a comment down below and the winner, they'll be announced in next week's video. If you are grabbing anything as well, consider using cornershop.gg for instant delivery eShop credits. Doom 2016 on Nintendo Switch then is an impressive port that is well worth playing. Now, despite some visual compromises and occasional frame rate wobbles, the game runs smoothly and it is a pleasure to play in handheld mode. With the added bonus of gyro controls that take advantage of the Switch's strengths as well, Doom delivers this immersive demon slaying experience as you tackle an overrun research facility. It is well worth it, and this 75% off currently, it matches the low price. Lonely Mountains Downhill, it was a surprise hit for me. The premise is simple: ride your bike down a series of mountains as fast as you can while avoiding obstacles and hazards. The game, it offers two control schemes, and I do recommend you try both as it may take some getting used to with its unique camera angle. However though, the controls, they are surprisingly intuitive once you do get the hang of them. Although the early levels, they start off easy as well, the game, it quickly ramps up the difficulty and it demands precision, quick reflexes and definitely this eye for shortcuts. At 50% off, it's matching the low price, and you'll find my full review is below. Far Changing Tides gets a new low price, 60% off. I was a fan of the original game and this felt like a great evolution of the concept. It's a unique game, part side-scrolling ship management, part exploration, and the idea, really, it's simple: and navigate this ocean-covered world in search of something. I say something because it's very much left up to interpretation, and this game, it is completely wordless. The gameplay is fun though. Solve these environmental puzzles, whether that's on land, swimming under the ocean, or of course aboard the ship. The piloting, it's essentially a series of buttons that must be pressed alongside this basic inventory management. Aerial Knights Never Yield, it's an auto-runner game and it's currently 60% off, matching its lowest price ever. As a big fan of the genre, I was excited to try this and see what unique elements it brought to the table. The game's attempt at a story to complement the action is definitely a welcome addition. Unfortunately though, it does fall short in execution, with it making, or at least to me, little sense. The gameplay on the other hand though is solid. We run, jump and slide through a futuristic world while being chased by some sort of government entity. The game does suffer from occasional frame rate issues, and some of the locations, they can feel repetitive honestly, but overall I still found it personally enjoyable. You can see my full review down below for more details, but despite its flaws, I do think it is worth this discounted price. Hotshot Racing is one of my personal favourite arcade races on the Switch. Then sure, look, it has rubber banding, meaning opponents always catch up, but given the genre, I do think that simply elevates the action. We get the option here though to play locally, online, or face off against some basic cups, and while it's not got a huge amount of content, honestly there is enough to keep you busy, especially if you pick it up with friends and do jump online. I will warn, do not buy this game in the hopes of finding other racers online. I never find them personally, but the racing is fast, the tracks are creative, and they've added some extra content including modes and tracks, which is always going to be a good thing. It's 85% off then, and that is matching the low price. Just wanted to quickly say thank you then for hanging in there with me over the past couple of weeks while I was job hunting. It's definitely been a bit hectic, but things are finally back on track. I'm excited here to be getting back now into the swing of things with daily content. To those of you who are waiting on gift cards from me, do not worry, I have not forgotten about you. They will be sent out later today, and I also have a bunch of new reviews planned to drop here over this next week. I appreciate the support though and the patience more than you know, and the same goes for PlayStation Corner as well. Be sure to click the link below, check out that channel, give it a look if you haven't already. Quake is hands down one of my all-time favourite ports of a classic game on the Switch, and for good reason. The developers poured a ton of love and care into it, adding not just the base game but also most of the expansion content, a brand new chapter, and even player created mods and content. The cherry on top, they also included the original 9 Inch Nails music, they upped the resolution, they cleaned up the visuals, they even threw in online play for both co-op and competitive mode. modes. What really sets this port apart in my opinion though is the fact they managed to maintain the game's budget price point. At 60% off then it matches the low price, and it is a steal of a deal and a shining example of how you do a port right. If you're a fan of classic first person shooters, do yourself a favour and definitely pick this one up. Super Cyborg then will be for the run and gun fans out there, a tribute to Contra. It even features a moment where things switch up and go top down, and while yes, the visual design at times it may be a bit generic, mainly our Cyborg leads, still had a blast with this budget gem. It's just incredibly tough at times, as you would of course expect, but then there's a slew of enemies and boss encounters to take on, and it is an absolute blast. I did a full review on the channel, find that down below, but it is well worth this 60% off, which is a new low price. So for the circle then it will be for the narrative fans out there. It's another one I reviewed on the channel, find that below, but I would consider this mostly story with the occasional element of exploration and basic puzzle solving. Now the idea, it's weaving two stories together, your personal life and a loved one, alongside I guess the compromises and sacrifices made to go on this expedition to the Arctic and basically survive as you explore this snowy and often deadly location. Now it's not a difficult game, but I was impressed. It's beautifully presented and it's 40% off, which is a new low price. Watch the review first though and make sure it's for you. Paradise Killer then is a game I love to talk to, and it's back on sale and matching the low with 60% off, and I like this one so much because I cannot name another game quite like it. The visuals, this unique vaporwave design, just stunning, and the gameplay, first-person exploration as you play a detective trying to solve a group murder. The story is definitely out there. Basically, this world is inhabited by gods as well as people, and every millennia or so demons do invade. To counter this issue, we move planets thanks to a council. The problem though, on the eve of this move, they've all been killed. Now you must get to the bottom of it. You should definitely watch a full review with this one, but it's incredibly creative and the soundtrack, it is killer too. Furi Modore Edition then packs in the base game as well as the recently released DLC. Now the edition is essentially a new character that looks mostly the same but introduces new fight mechanics. The gameplay, it's a boss rush game which is known to be incredibly challenging as you're escaping some sort of futuristic prison. What's good though since launch is the fact they've added a slew of options, making it now playable for everyone thanks to inclusions such as invincibility mode. I'm a big fan of the game and it was one of my very first reviews here on the channel. It's 60% off, matching the low, and I'm sure it will get comments. Yes, it has a favorable frame rate, but I found it was fine once you do get used to the control scheme. I also reviewed the DLC as well, and that video is also linked below. Full Metal Furies then is an action RPG from the team behind the incredible Rogue Legacy. This one, it's a beat 'em up experience that's been blended then with RPG elements. It's going to be best experienced in co-op if you do have the option, and that is both local and online. We basically get weapons to choose from though, extra items, and this is all then unlocked by taking on new missions. I'm a big fan of the visual style though throughout. It's kind of this combination of clean backgrounds with pixelated characters and just the general RPG leveling up. It is so addictive. This studio though always deliver, and this is well worth the time with a new low price here of 90% off. Rogue Legacy then also comes from the same studio, and this is the game that really highlighted how capable the studio is, and that's also on sale 87% off, and that is a new low price. Now it received a sequel recently that is incredible, but why not play from where it began? An action roguelike, the spin here is when you die, your next character will actually be one of the children, so you'll constantly switch up skills and weapons. As you proceed then you'll build up a kingdom and in turn have better starting conditions. They leveled up the visuals in the sequel, but this one's of the pixel variety, and I love the animation work in here, and it just feels right at home on the Switch, especially when you do pick up and play this one in handhelds. Our winner of the week then is going to Carlos, who highlighted potentially picking up Tanuki, Wallachia and Okinawa, all games featured last week and they are still on sale right now. In fact, I'm pretty sure the $10 would cover the three of them together. Congrats Carlos, drop me an email for the code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next week's video. Inside then is our final game of the video, and yes, in the US and Canada we've seen this price plenty of times now, but in the UK, EU and Australia, it is a new low price with 90% off, and the game is a masterpiece so it's definitely an easy one to recommend. The gameplay, a puzzle platformer with a horror edge. I don't want to give too much away, the less you know the better, so as always, with this or Limbo, I'm going to be sticking to the eShop description. So yeah, here goes. Hunted and alone, a boy finds himself drawn into the centre of a dark project. Buy this one immediately, in my opinion, you will not regret it. And that's the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library? Let me know in the comments. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.